don't know why I'm sitting here on camera. And I don't need to be.
Everyone who is at home, we are going to start up in 1 minute. Stretch out if you have not already.
What's up?
It's like the Darce one's my favorite.
Oh, I have no idea. It's looks like it's like trying to focus.
Yeah. Yeah,
Seems
it's
to have
better.
stopped.
Yeah, just had to get a spot on the mat, I think. Mine didn't come on in on the.
Oh my god, wait, my sock went in like that.
Let's come on the mats. And now, this time, let's face each other. It's okay. And when you face each other the other way, so on the line, because we're kind of just going 90 degrees to normal. Yep, perfect. And let's warm up. Seated back break falls on the count. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Towards, in our case, the front door. We're falling towards you. Go whichever way you want. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, 3. Curl into a ball. Roll the ball. Come up to your shoulders and balance. Come back to it. And triangles left and right. Go. And down, bridges left and right. Go. And pommel the feet, big circles. And change directions. Sit on up and scoot back. And one leg in front of the other, S positions. Good. You can at the kind of end of each position, feel free to lean over your front leg and kind of modified pigeon stretch. And then go to the other side. Scoot back even further from each other, ladies. And you're going to do it all the way to the get up. So gently look back. You're doing it all the way to the get up. So 1, 2, 3, and then come on forward. Careful about running into each other. Hands active. You can push off the mat behind you if you need, but if you don't, just go. Very nice. 15 more seconds. Right. And down. Let's warm up our hands. So on your own, 10-finger grip, palm to palm grip. Cover the watch. Cover the fist. Elbows. Figure 4. Back down to elbows, back to fist. Watch butterfly if you want. Palms, fingertips, flip the fingertips. Continue. Let each one have a small pull to it. So today we're gonna actually kind of go back in time a little bit, hit some of our kind of standards, our defaults, a lot of kind of one of these perfect paths all the way from passing someone's guard to a dominant position to a back position all the way. We're actually going to do this in lieu of the, not our Jiu-Jitsu lieu. We're going to do this in lieu of the open drilling section. So we're going to get more content in today. And hopefully for those of you that are at home training by yourself, you should be able to do many of the techniques without a partner. Certainly not all of them. And shake out your hands. Come on up to the knees. And Kimura grips. 4 for 4. Begin. Or 2 for 2, I guess.
Sorry,
It's fine. It's fine.
there you go, mine's 3 for 4. It's true.
Just throwing mom on the bus. As one does.
We've got this one.
Oh my god.
Well, now go ahead and finish it.
I can count.
I think everything's recording. What is Tuesday?
Wait. I did 2 again.
Yeah, we're doing
So we haven't done it in a while. You guys can at home can do this as well. We're now going to do 2 Kimuras to a cross snap guillotine, or to a cross snap front headlock. It doesn't have to be to a submission. So Kimura on one side, Kimura on the other, and now wrap the head all the way through, right? We also can kind of let go of the second Kimura and go to a cross snap instead, either way. The key here, if you're going to go right from the Kimura to the guillotine, you've got to get your head up above their head. If you're too low behind, they can run to their back, yeah. Pass it all the way before you try to get the hands underneath. And remember, the weight of your arm on the back of the neck, yup, is really what's going to hold it, not strength of your arm. Get your head up a little higher. Yeah. Drop the shoulder over the back. This should not be like an overly aggressive technique with your partner. They should like drop your shoulder down nice, so her chest will bend forward. With the body weight, and they can compensate for it. But this should not be an overly aggressive drill that you do with your partner. Your partner shouldn't feel like they're getting manhandled, that they're getting their neck roughed up. A few more moments, and we'll move on. And time. Okay, we're going to go to classic knee elbow escape. But before we do, Jen, jump on the mount here for a moment. Jen, come. Those that have been taking the drills class over the last few weeks, we've been talking about this power shrimp. And the idea is that I want to get my knee out from this line, right? We have a lot of ways. Classically, we do this version where I reach over and I scoop with my other foot. But what we're trying to do now is same idea, straighten this. I want to get this knee through this line that is currently filled out by Jennifer's left leg. So what we're going to do from here is a giant shrimp. It's very hard for her to keep the knee on the ground. And my knee traces its way out on the mat. So if her knee comes off the ground even a tiny bit, my knee can come out because it's going across the mat. Even if she can keep it down, but it's not super heavy because of that giant bridging shrimp, my knee's going to pop out. And then recovering a butterfly guard from here is pretty inconsequential. I'm simply going to connect my knee to my elbow, so as she tries to put her knee back through that line, there's no place to do it. And as I start to square up, a butterfly hook occurs. So, come on off for a moment. Again, remember for those of you that have been taking the drills class, this motion, this is our standard shrimping motion. Instead, we're dropping the knee down to the mat. And as we do that on a partner that is on the mount, this area becomes too big, the knee comes out. So these guys should find, no matter how hard the other person tries to really put the weight down on the mat because their weight is close enough to each other, the other person's not going to have any success holding the mount. So Maya takes top of the mount. Jen, why don't you go to your right first just so it's on the camera. And so turn to your side. And now giant shrimp with your butt going to the left and your knee coming out the bottom. Yeah. And now connect your elbow to your knee. Recover a butterfly hook. That's all. Don't go further than that. Once you've got a butterfly hook, you're good. So Maya, there, same thing. Maya, you're going to go to your right first so we see it on the camera. After that, you guys can vary it. But right now, let's mix it up. So elbow inside. Yep. Frame the other left arm across the hip though. Not a five. And now big shrimp getting your right knee to the mat. So I want your knee on the mat. Just come out. Yep. Pull your knee to your elbow. And now bring them both out. Yep. Get your knee up higher so it's your shin on her leg. Drop your knee down, Jen. Yeah, right. So you're on the butterfly hook. Yep. Good. Go ahead, play with it. This is more of a power escape versus the one where we try to trap the foot and pull it. Sometimes the foot's not available, especially if they cross it. Yeah. We're really using that motion. If you've got a partner at home, as we do more reps, the person on top get heavier. Really put those knees down to the mat hard. You could even cross your feet under their butt, and this escape should still be effective. You don't try to move her as much as I try to move you. Get your knee down to the mat and out. You're almost going upside down. You're almost like giving up your back. Not quite, obviously, but almost. Nice, Jen. That was exactly what that should look like. I saw you practicing this drill at home, and it was getting better, and now it's coming out like actual application better. That's right. Yes, there's a nice sales pitch for drills class. And Jennifer, right out of the gate, practice that. No, see how the knee's still in the air? Get your knee on the ground. Get upside down. Upside, like look, I want to see you go like you're almost upside down. This knee's gonna get out.
You should take daddy's pills.
That's right. Better, yeah.
I felt all tired.
Yeah. All good stuff. As I said, I think that would probably succeed even like against some of my size. Well, also because there's more space. Thing to keep in mind at home, just while you're drilling, we're going to do it in a minute, is like there's a difference between tall and heavy and smaller and stockier. And one of the most challenging opponents that you could have, or partners you can train with, is someone who is strong and dense, but also not long. Having shorter arms and shorter legs makes some of these escapes more challenging. In general, it makes like their strength more consolidated. And so it's a very different problem than someone who is very tall and long and also strong. So often you get something out of them being tall and long. Or it's easier to escape, it's easier to finish arm bars and leg locks, they're more exposed. Yes, Jen, wow.
So if you want to think about really bringing your knee to the back, sorry.
I feel you're doing the shrimp and your knee's still kind of low.
Yeah.
And so you need a lot more space to get your leg
Almost like you're going to turn over.
almost like go on your belly.
Better? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was better.
Yep.
I can tell from the lunch meal part of it.
Almost done. 10 more seconds and then we'll move on. And time. So let's move on to like our modified version or our consolidated version of the knee slice pass that includes like my new favorite pass to work on, the one I've had the most success with recently. And one of the criticisms of a classic knee slice pass, the reason that it often doesn't scale to the black belt level quite as well, is that because you're coming around the side, it means that like I know where you're gonna go. And so it allows me to come up with some last minute defenses. You know how we work on the cross post, we work on recovering the inside shin. And so if Jennifer stands above me and starts to go with a standard right foot enter knee slice, right? At the point this all starts to fall apart for me, I have answers. So right here is this kind of key moment. She's coming this way. I know she's coming this way. It's hard for her to change directions. And look how all my limbs are still pointing at her. So as she comes around the corner, I can post my hand, I can post the top shin, I can do a lot of stuff to keep her far away and recover my guard. So what I prefer is to be able to maintain a threat to both directions on the pass. So Jennifer goes into her standard butterfly, I go into my standard knee slice. But as we come down here and she starts to lean everything to her right, I'm now gonna walk back to the right myself. My right, not hers. That centers her back up. Almost without exception, if she doesn't bring this knee in, I can just slide over, like leave the foot down. Yep. I can just drop my knee to the mat and I'm basically in a 3/4 mount. I just have to extract this foot. And so we're almost done. So she's almost always gonna bring that knee in the middle. So come this way then, running off. So let's go over it again. I go knee slice. She starts she's ready, like she's getting all these tools ready. This isn't great for me. So instead, I'm gonna walk back to the middle. So she ends up flat. This foot is almost always gonna engage, and that's okay. I'm gonna start sitting my weight down onto that like a squat, and now pushing the knee over past my center line. And now I can drop my left knee to the mat and consolidate. She now has a lot of trouble bringing this leg out. I've decided to trap it, and now look what we're doing. We're turning everything on her body away. Hands can come down to the mat. I can start controlling the upper body or not. And just especially if this is foreign to you, you haven't learned it yet, just hover here for a moment, feel this, and now it's going to be a kick back to extract that final hook, and we're in side control. By the way, if as we get to this position at the beginning, Jennifer doesn't go sideways, she doesn't do anything, that's cool, that's where my classic knee slice can still come in, it's still a valid pass. It's just she has some good responses if she's on the ball, with the left hand, the top shin, and so that's how we respond to it. I'll count it down for these two, and so you guys at home can follow as well. Maya, come on out. Okay, and why don't we, let's face the camera like that, I think. Cool. Right foot steps in. No, your head doesn't matter, your head isn't yet, it will be. We get lower like the knee slice, so go ahead, start to slice, but keep your weight on your feet, good. Once you see this isn't working, so Maya, bring your right shin against her thigh here. Just, no, not your shin against her shin. Bring her shin against the inside of her leg. Closer. So now you can walk your feet towards me, and she goes square. She brings in that knee, just sit your hips down on top of it. Be heavy on that hook. Yeah, don't fall backwards. No, don't fall backwards. Lean your upper body to her upper body. Like, put your weight on her. Put your weight on her. More, more, more. Now kick your leg out. Yep, there we go. Very good. Nice. Jen, your turn. Yep. This is a new variation on it, but when you put the two together, it's like very hard to stop. It's a threat to both directions. Jen steps right foot in. She starts knee slice. Maya turns on her side and gets her left. Maya, bring your left hand in front of her arm, right, so you can start posting. Is a problem. So Jen brings her right leg in, and now Jen, walk to me a little bit so you square her up. Maya, bring your other shin inside. Bring your knee up the middle. Right, otherwise you're in trouble. Jen, squat down to put your weight on her shin. Now get an upper body connection. Kick your right leg back. Put your weight to your left knee and kick your right leg back. Yup. Yeah, very nice. Good. So for the person on top, you're going to need to be able to get into a relatively low squat. You're going to need to balance on your hands and your feet. And you're then going to need to be able to adjust that weight. Yeah, walk her back. Jen, bring the knee in. Remember, if they don't bring the knee in, you can just step right over the mount. Go, lean forward, put your weight on her. Yup, and now your leg gets light. Remember, whenever there's more weight on our hands, our legs get lighter. And whenever there's more weight on our feet, our arms get lighter. We can move them. So the more you put your weight on your hands here, the lighter your legs get to finish. Remember, uke, you need to bring those knees in close to your chest the whole time. Yeah, nice, Jen. And now back step. Right. The more you flatten her, the easier the end is. And you can also thread your knee in behind her legs just to kind of keep her pinned sideways. Knee in, chin. Yeah. So right away, person on the bottom, knees as high to your shoulders the whole time. At no point should your legs flatten out. Don't be that nice to your training partner to give them this false sense of security, this false sense of how easy the pass is because your legs are just dead. So the moment you go back, Maya, bring your knees to your chest. Both knees in. Right. Play your guard for real. Right. That's a much better cue for her. Now she's responding the way she should. Right. And just surf your hips over hips. That was great. Yep. Uke, knees in your chest the whole time. Knees up, Jen. Good. Right. Nice, Maya. Go. Heavy. Good. Don't speed it up quite yet. Be a little heavier and then go. But that was great. It was much better. You guys are great with this. This will be such a potent pass for you. You will shred people's guards. And remember, if they don't do the first part right themselves, it's fine. You just continue your knee slice. You finish something we've been doing for years.
Okay.
One more, Maya, and then we will move on. So one of the things that happens on this pass in particular is because the knees get turned away, it's very possible that someone's going to try to run a turtle to finish this, to escape. So Jen comes in, she goes there, I bring my knees up, and she goes, uh-oh, change directions, right. Uh-oh, heavy on that knee, down we go. Okay. In particular, if Jen takes her right knee and puts it behind my knee, right, I'm being bring down to the mat. Just wedge. Notice how sideways I am, right? And so, like, I'm in such a bad position. Often, if I can get my arms in, one of my responses is, roll over your arm, is to start coming up here. What Jen actually wants to do here is let it start to happen. So we're going to switch positions. I'm going to pass, and as I force Jen to her right, let's come a little this way. Yep. She's going to start rolling to the turtle. So down we go. She brings both knees in, right? Oh, okay, so cool. Go this way. Down we go. I start flattening out. I start bringing this here. If I just like hold her tight and I try to flatten her back out, that's okay. But she's really giving me an opportunity. So as she starts to roll, I'm keeping my chest connected to her back the whole time. It's hard to see maybe on the camera, unwind a little bit, like just rewind the tape a little bit, just a little bit, right to here. As she's coming up, again, might be hard to see on the tape, my left knee inside. This is going to end up being one of my hooks. And as she comes up, seatbelt grip, right hand low, left hand high. If this knee is not in, and I try to pull her over to get her back, I'm going to get it back with no bottom hook whatsoever, and I'm never going to get it. So the knee is in while I get this, and as I roll, I want to pop the bottom hook out. I can go to body lock, I can go to double hooks, I can go to posting, back control, whatever we want. But the idea is that, let's back up a step to the pass. And so we're going to do the pass again, but we're going to continue. And in fact, in this one, the pass is going to be involved in every single iteration. And we're just going to add on it, end up with like a 6-move jiu-jitsu pattern. So down she goes, in I come, she gets some good defensive stuff going to the hand, right? So back we go. Down, I start to back step, but now she responds by rolling away. As she comes up, I keep connected, knee in, hands in, over we go. Remember, the bottom hook is the one that matters. If this leg is straight, go ahead, walk over my hook, Jen. No, don't crawl over, just bring your legs over, right? If this happens, I lose the back. There is no, there's a couple of complicated ways to recover it, kick her back over. I don't want to have to do any of that. I want the bottom hook to get in from the very beginning. Okay, let's do it. Again, we're building up. This is going to be a nice long series. It's going to diverge actually here a little bit into a Darce like you guys have done before, but let's give it a try. So same pass, walks over, and now uke this time roll away. So not the like left knee inside, between her elbow, right leg come out.
Yeah.
Right. Now over under, and now pull and make sure your knee stays where it is. Get your left foot out. Get your left foot out. There you go. Good. There we go. Very nice. Switch top out. It'll come with reps. Your idea should not be that you see a demonstration. Your standard, this is for YouTube, but hold on, Jen. This is for you guys, but also for people at home. Your standard should not be, I see the drill, and then I nail it perfectly on my first try. That's an unrealistic standard for yourself. It should be, I see the drill, I start playing with it, I kind of mess it up a little bit on the first or second time, and maybe by the time we're at there like 4th or 5th, it starts to feel like I got an understanding of it. Don't put that on your head that, oh, I saw it, I should really just do it. It's not some of these things are not that simple. Go ahead, Jen. Steps inside, goes to our pivoting kind of knee slice. Yeah, changes directions, flattens out. My response here, realizes she's in trouble by this big bridge. So get your left knee between the elbow and the up, over under, and now pull backwards. Left foot pops out, right? Sometimes you have to navigate your partner to get that foot out. A lengthening of their body with your arms might do it. Play around with it. Kicks out. Jen starts to come on up. Remember, person on the top, you can pin them there. But in this case, we're looking at taking the back, which is obviously a giant win for a position. So let's not lose the opportunity by like, what's that?
Like, if I couldn't get the momentum to roll her
To roll me the
straight.
other way. So long
You
as
can
you're
be
fully
on the, yeah, you can. You're right. That it's a slightly the strong side there, as they call it, where you just have a choking on the mat. You're right. It's not as strong.
Yeah.
For those of you that like doing the back step into the saddle off of the knee slice pass, that all integrates together here fantastically. Yeah, Jen, you gotta stay with her a little more. If she gets that far to the turtle, you're gonna lose her. Yeah.
Split Ryan in half.
Kick to the hips. There, that's.
I split Ryan in half.
Kill you now. I'm not sure.
And then I'm out to turtle.
Good, don't fall off the head.
Oh boy. That was cool. Now it's
30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, and then we'll look at a different response from that. Nice.
Thank you for that.
Last one, Mike. And then we will.
This arm is always out here. For me to turn, like,
No, well, often earlier.
I would-
Earlier than that, before she gets the arm under your head, you bring your elbows inside. Yeah. Okay. Now they're not going to do that. So Jen's going to do the pass on me, but I'm not going to get so far behind. And by the way, for those of you at home, there's a lot of content today. We're doing a lot of techniques. But the implication is that for a number of you, these techniques are reviewed. They're ones you already maybe even have like deeply in your game, and you're just working on some nuance, or you're chaining some things together that you don't normally chain together. But it's a lot. So if you don't recognize any of these techniques, if you're newer to this, don't worry about it. Like, you don't need to come out of this class having all like 6 of them down. We're just working on a bunch of review for ourselves. So Jen comes on in, she starts with knee slice, I start to bring my knees in, she responds by centering, by flattening up my hook. Yeah, I'm in trouble. But in this case, instead, this leg I'm going to start kicking free, and I'm going to turn to face her, which is normally a better response. And I'm going to be looking for a left underhook. So it's already under usually, right? If my elbow is in tight, she doesn't necessarily win the underhook. I'm straightening, and with a shrimp, I'm turning and facing her with an underhook. This is a much better response for me most of the time, and we're going to respond to that. So, uke, your job simply is as you get past, keep your arms in, and turn and face your partner, preferably with an underhook. This is a better response, but we're going to now take it into it. So, here I go, passing Jen's guard. Same as before. As I go, she brings this in. I say, okay, cool, down we go, over here. And now right at this moment, she makes a good decision and turns into me. Straightens that right leg, shrimps a little under we go. Okay, first things first. First things first, this underhook is going to be a problem if I don't do anything about it. If she can just launch me up and over, right, I'm going to lose everything. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our chin over the elbow. It's not that our chin does anything, it's that our chin is lined up with our spine. And when I put my chin over her elbow, I'm putting the center of my weight over that underhook. So now when she goes to launch me, she finds it's like hitting a brick wall. And this again is not a function of size. If Jen puts her chin over my elbow, I'm not going to be able to underhook her either. Here we are. And now from here, overhook wrap the head, as we always do. This is where there'll be another split point based on what happens. Sometimes here, and what we're going to do first, Jen's going to actually bail on the underhook. If she keeps going with the underhook here, I'm going to Darce her, right? We're just going to go through and finish the Darce from our butterfly side control that we like. If instead, Jen goes, uh-oh, I'm out of dodge, and she goes flat on her back, right, which is a good response to Darce, I'm now going to take the north-south choke. So, I drop my shoulder, and I sprawl my left leg. The right hand that's normally on this side is going to flip to the other side, and I'm going to walk back. I need to feel that my partner's chin is turned away from me. If Jen turns her face into me, right, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's not a submission. If I can get her chin out, this is a submission. So the finishes on this is a little bit complicated. It's also very muscly. It's going to be involved like walking your body back. Don't worry so much. We could spend a whole bunch of time on just how to get the finish on a north-south choke. North-south choke's not, in my opinion, as appealing as a Darce, because it's a little more strength-based, a little more neck cranky, all of that. If you're doing this as a partner, don't worry so much about the finish. Worry about getting to that north-south position. Get their chin out and go from there. So Maya, come on in. And let me count it down for both you at home and there. Okay, Jen, you go first. So same pass as before. Yep, we're getting lots of reps in this changing direction on our knee slice. Maya knees in. Jen decides to go over. Okay, now this time, as Jen finishes the pass, go ahead, start to kick your leg free. Maya instead shrimps and gets the left underhook. No, you're not right. Jen walks her chin over the elbow. Good, more to the head. Maya, try to lift her with the underhook. Nope, doesn't go anywhere. Left arm wrap the head. So now, remember, if Maya continues with the underhook, Jen Darces her, it's right there. But now Maya makes a good decision, or kind of one of the only decisions remaining for her. She goes flat on her back. Okay, so now, hold on Jen, let's do it step by step. Leave your right hand on the other side of her body, wherever it was, right. Just there for base for the moment. Okay, drop the left shoulder towards the chin. Start, you don't have to flip your hips necessarily, because it kills your mobility a little bit. Drop the chin, the shoulder, right? Switch your right arm to the other side. Start walking your hips towards the head, and as you do that, make sure the chin stays out. Yeah. And then, as I said, you connect your hands, do a bunch of stuff to finish. Don't worry about the finish. Let's just finish. As you guys see on the camera, we end up in this nice north-south position. Your shoulder to shoulder, legs 180 degrees from each other. Okay, Maya goes to the slice. Jen brings her knees in. It's all fell apart. Come on. Good. Okay. Let's slow down. As she kicks, Jen weaves the left underhook, shrimps out, and here we go. Okay. Before this goes anywhere, Maya, bring your chin over her elbow. So, yeah, you guys rush through the part that was a little, so we need a little more control. Jen, go back a step, get the underhook, but don't get so far on your side. Okay, so we have the underhook. Right as Jen tries to go on her side, Maya, bring your head over the elbow. Right. So she can get on her side, but she's not moving her at all. Left hand flips the head. Yup. Jen stays here. Keep going with the underhook, Jen. Maya Darcer. Underneath, there we go. So she shouldn't do that. She starts to flatten. Maya gets heavy with her left shoulder. Flip your right. No, don't drop your head. Just like drop your right. Bring your right hand to the other hip. Right hand goes over, right? So now you can rotate. And now feel her chin with your rib cage. Walk towards off the mat yet. We should set up. No. Don't go over her head. Drop your ribs so it's on. So you're squeezing her head like a headlock, like a guillotine. Walk towards her head so her face should turn away from you. Keep going. Yeah. Until you're north-south, all the way. Your feet should be outstretching of her feet. Yeah. And let's move way this way, so you can, because this is now adding up to a lot of techniques, and we're running out of room off the mat. So I can go all the way that way. You're also getting off camera. Okay. It's Jen's turn.
Yeah.
No. Maya's down. Jen's up. Yep. And knees in. Down. Sprawl. Get that underhook. Maya. Flatten the underhook before you get that far, Jen. Yeah. Wrap the head. Walk your head towards the elbow more, Jen. Walk your head right. Maya starts to flatten out. It's terrible.
I wasn't sure how far we were supposed to go.
Well, the whole way, but I'm just saying that, gotta get real control over the head, and Maya, you gotta flatten out on your back. We don't need to finish, but everything else. Flip your hand to the other side so you can walk your weight right. Now you can walk your legs, and you should get your weight from that. Maya, drop your whole left side of your body down. No, not your head, your body, your hip and everything. Then get your butt, kick your knees this way. Now her head's up.
Oh yeah. No, instead I would tap.
Yeah. And then you just keep walking, and then you give her a second hand, and then do all a bunch of other stuff. But you end up with the key, everyone at home as well, the end goal here is that their head is trapped. I don't care if you can't squeeze and get a tap yet. The point is that they can't move their chin. They can't. If you can't move your head, it's very hard to usually move your body. Breathe in. For those that have never really done the north-south choke, again, difficult thing, and it's going to take some practice. So Jen, mainly you need to figure out how to clear that arm that's still in the game a little bit.
This one?
Yeah, it's her top arm. Yeah.
And double. Sorry.
No, it's after the wrap.
No.
No, Maya, you can't lose the head. Whole point's the head. Now walk your butt. No, hold on to it. Walk your butt.
Leave that heavy.
Yes. That. Now, Jen, move your head. Keep it down there.
Yeah, that's good.
You're not trying to hurt her, you're just trying to hold her. Not limiting people's movement is the #1 step towards submission. If they have options, some of those options will be escaping. If they have no options, then we want to make it so that their only remaining option is tap. We don't want to have a few options left. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, Jen, so the problem is you're like going for the Darce, and that's like wrapping her
And
arm.
that's why I
Get inside her arm. Nah, don't throw it. That's not gonna happen. But just like, let's go back a step. Go underhook, man. So wrap the head, Jen. But then as you start walking, get your hand inside her hand. Right. Well, no, you don't necessarily need that early, but at some point that happens. And now turn her chin.
I wanted to stop because I feel like I was twisting your neck and you were.
Yeah, it adds a burden on teaching you guys. So you won't actually do it because you're like, this is gonna hurt someone. It's like, it's not. That's the reason for it. And now swim your arm inside. And yeah, go. Walk. Yeah. Do the same thing.
I hope you lost the
Stay
pressure
under
when you
control.
walked.
Walk your legs until they're pointing the opposite direction of her legs.
Now go flat.
But try to not bring your butt in the air. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can go flat early and then just walk your feet across the mat. The goal is head control over everything.
And then go put your belly down and then walk. Yeah.
One more minute and then we'll just go review our Darce.
No, you're good.
One more each. And then we'll just review the classic Darce. Sprawl legs. So you get bite the chin, her head's facing the wrong way. Use your ribs as a tool. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
That's the finish. Sorry.
My last one.
We needed to do one that was fully to the end of that as well.
Sprawl. Sprawl low. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
The sooner you sprawl, the easier it will be. Moving, when you sprawl, moving is harder, but the pressure is more severe. Okay, last one, classic. And this, by the way, is a series, Jen, please. This is a series that I get on people constantly. In we go. I go knee slice, she brings the knees in, not working low. Drop, boom. She turns, gets the underhook. Right, wrap the head, she keeps with the underhook. She's like, no, I'm gonna do it. Butterfly, side control, we've got the top on top. For those that don't know the technique, you can't really see it, my hands are here. I'm grabbing my right hand with my left and I'm pulling it through. So my left arm is acting like the needle pulling a thread through. Because it's wrapped around her head already. My right arm is wrapped around her arm already. I simply pull my hand through. So once everything is set up, this pull is very easy. If I don't set it up right, it won't be. From here, keep your left hand posted on the mat so Jen can't sprawl her head out. If I'm here, and then as I'm going to adjust my hands, she sprawls her head away. Nope, come on back. She sprawls her head away. Yeah, I lose my hand. It doesn't come through anymore. Some people like to kind of hook here. I don't find this as strong. Post on the mat. She goes to spread her head, sprawl her head away. It doesn't work. Slide down into the finish. And there's a lot of little details to the finish. We'll make it a simple squeeze and pulling my right elbow back to get the tap. Squeeze and pull my right elbow back to get the tap. Again, you can't see it. It's from here. Not if you and come on in. So let's count this down. Jen, you'll go first. So Maya, come on over here. Okay, I guess not. Maya will go first. And go ahead to pass. Stop at the underhook. Okay. Maya flips the head. Normal wrap. Jen stays on her side. She doesn't go flat to her back. Maya goes right hand under, connects her hands, pulls the right hand through with the left hand. Yep, till it pops out. Now, once it's out, switching the grip can be a little bit of a challenge. So wait, no. Put your left hand on the mat and straighten your left elbow Maya for a moment. Just so her head is stuck. Go ahead, Jen, push your head out. Right, and now slide on up to the figure 4, Maya. Yeah. Hand to the shoulder, left hand to the shoulder. You're good. Left hand to the shoulder, squeeze and pull. Tap, tap, tap. Switch something up. Go all the way to the underhook and wait for me there. Go. Pass, knees inside. Jen walks. She sprawls. She kicks. Maya gets the underhook, comes on up. Okay. Jen left hand wraps ahead. But Maya stays at the underhook. She stays on her side. Jen right hand through. Connects the hands. And now squeeze here. Get the post. No, Jen, let me see the post first. Drop your left hand. Arm straight behind. No, put your hand up flat on the mat. And bring your forearm all the way to the back of the head. Right? So that when Maya tries to sprawl her head out, it doesn't go anywhere. Figure 4. Squeeze and pull. Good. On your own. One pull. Last one. So with these combos, chaining your techniques together, your pass, your attacks, your setups, as you chain all of this together, what begins to happen is that your partners will not have the time to think between your techniques. Each technique feeds into the next one, and the gaps, as they get smaller and smaller, these are the moments where partners who don't know exactly what you're doing are going to need to improvise, and they're not going to be able to improvise in time. That is the power of what I often call knowledge versus improvisation. If you get to a point where you know what you're doing next, and they are improvising how to respond to it, you will almost always have a big advantage. Not one that can't be compensated for. There are people out there that are fantastic at improvising. Really good athletes who, even if they don't know what's going on, can figure out a way out.
You made it through almost the whole class without hitting each other.
Often it's better if you would just straight hand on the mat, even though it makes you feel very low. Yeah, I think it might. I think a headfall might push through it though. I think your elbow might slide on that. Maybe not. Maybe now it's on your own side, but at least on bigger angles. Last one, left. Very good. Give each other a high five. All right. So one last thing to think about as we finish up is that the posting of the hand or the elbow behind the head as we go to switching the grip. That's an example of something, an example of a principle that you should have in your training, that you should pay attention to when you get to start rolling again, which is I want you to think of the metaphor of like a castle, that there's going to be weak spots and there's going to be strong spots. You know, obviously the weakest spot would be just going through the front door, right? If If the drawbridge is down and the moat is covered and there isn't anything else going on, that's the weakest spot. If you try to run right through a wall, that's not going to work. There's windows, there's other places. Maybe I want you to imagine a castle that's like stone all the way around, but there's weaker spots of the stone. There's places where it's thinner, there's places where you can break through. And so in your techniques, in your series of techniques, or maybe just a single technique, there are weak spots. There are places in which, not because you don't do them well, but just because it's natural for the technique. Often it will be anytime you switch a grip. Often it will be anytime you have to move in a big amount of space because there's more space for them to fill up with their limbs. There's points in your technique where the wall is thinner, and those are the spots where you need to maybe add another step, or you need to just be mindful of that moment, or you need to speed up past that moment so your partner doesn't take advantage of it. But the first step is actually noticing them. So a good simple example there is you could have their hand all the way through for the Darce, maybe even hands connected. The transition from here to here might be a moment where they escape, right? And so maybe if you switch your hands to this grip, this becomes a cleaner transition, right? This would be a simple example, right? You go to this grip here, you've got to let go to get to this grip. If I go to this grip, I simply have to slide my hand. And so if we keep this idea in mind, or more importantly, just notice. Notice when people escape. You're on someone's back, as you're going under the chin, they wiggle out of your legs. So you have to just know, either I'm not locking my legs in tight enough, I need to add a little something to the end of it. In here, a simple example is as we get to that Darce position, we add this post so they can't swell their head out. Main way you'll notice it is when people escape. They come up with their own things, or they do something that's known, and that's how you figure out where the weak spots in the walls are, just picking them up. Thank you very much. Good class today. Thank you guys. Again, a bit of a review, but sometimes that's a great thing to kind of just solidify some of the stuff that we've done before. Of course, guys. See you soon.
Yeah, that was nice.